the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our west coast became a potential combat zone. Living in that zone were more than 100,000 persons of Japanese ancestry, 2/3 of them American citizens, 1/3 aliens. We knew that some among them were potentially dangerous. No one knew what would happen among this concentrated population if Japanese forces should try to invade our shores. Military authorities therefore determined that all of them, citizens and aliens alike, would have to move. This picture tells how the mass migration was accomplished.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. A state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
Neither the Army nor the War Relocation Authority relished the idea of taking men, women, and children from their homes, their shops, and their farms. Immediately, the Army began mapping evacuation areas and for a time encouraged the Japanese to leave voluntarily. The trouble for the
truckload of soldiers came with their bayonets and forced us to move. And so we had to, of course, get on the truck and then go to Marysville.
Notices were posted. All persons of Japanese descent were required to register. They gathered in their own churches and schools, and the Japanese themselves cheerfully handled the enormous paperwork involved in the migration.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend each lonely night dreaming of a song. That melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you. When our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. Oh, but that was long ago, and now my consolation is in the stardust of a song beside a garden wall where stars are bright. You are in my arms. That nightingale.
Our rights were being violated, and I just couldn't understand why they were doing that to us. It looked so dark and depressing, and it was scary. I guess not scary, it was more apprehension, I guess. Worrying about the unknown.
Naturally, the newcomers looked about with some curiosity. They were in a new area, on land that was raw, untamed, but full of opportunity. Here they would build schools, educate their children, reclaim...
While we were leaving, we noticed that our house was burning. Someone had set the house on fire so that they'd be sure we wouldn't come back, I guess.
As the President determined to take all necessary steps, including the use of armed forces, to assist any member or protocol state of the Southeast Asia Collective Treaty requesting assistance in defense of freedom.
This is what the war in Vietnam is all about. The old and the very young. The Marines have burned this old couple's cottage because fire was coming from here. Now when you walk into the village, you see no young people.
Stars begin a-peeping one by one.
The day's operation burned down 150 houses, wounded 3 women, killed 1 baby, wounded 1 Marine, and netted these 4 prisoners.
I take the threat very seriously. I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously.
My stardust melody, the melody of love's refrain.
But when are you going to apologize for the 1 million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraq being a threat. You sent me to Iraq. You sent me to Iraq in 2003. My friends are dead. Joshua Castile. You killed people. You lied. You lied.
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred.
We are protecting ourselves without violating the principles of Christian decency. We won't change this fundamental decency no matter what our enemies do. But of course, we hope most earnestly that our example will influence the Axis powers in their treatment of Americans who fall into their hands.